Welcome to the video. My name is Dominic, and today's topic is glitches in the Matrix. So sit back, relax, and let's hear some of these stories out.
For those that claim all over social media that we are living in a simulation, well, you might just be correct. And why do I say that? Because there's a guy on TikTok that claims that he has the code to prove that we are living in a simulation. And it's all being run by advanced civilization, he claims. And we have been living in a 300,000 year long experiment. And his belief is so strong that once he found out all of this information, he actually quit his job. You heard what I said. He quit his job after finding out all of this information. And part of his belief is that each and every one of us, including myself, has metadata. And he actually posted a video that was very detailed to show you exactly how you can calculate your own metadata.
I am giving away my degree for free. If your name is Daniel William Schmidt, I will personally mail you this. It's an economics degree, one of the best in the world. You can get any job you want. I got a job in finance. I quit my job because I realized that we are living in a 300,000 year long experiment run by an advanced civilization, and all of us have metadata. If you take your full name and your date of birth, you can find your metadata.
Watch.
I calculated mine and I started crying because it was just so unbelievably accurate. And I realized that every single person has this, and that means we must be in an experiment. Every person is a different trial, and the civilization running this experiment is using this data to perfect their own society.
It's an incredible analysis for those of you that have been thinking that you are possibly living in some sort of simulation. And not only did he put the numbers together to figure out his own metadata, he also figured out what his purpose was. And his sole purpose was to build his own America. And with that claim, he says he is about to start doing that. Before I leave you, have a listen to the end of this video and let me know if it makes any sense to you. So hit me up in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. Listen.
At top, you have God. God created what I call Civilization 1, and then Civilization 1 created the experiment we're in, which is us. So I'm working on a new civilization because I realized that my purpose is to create America 2, because America 1 has served its purpose. So please help me get rid of this degree, because this is America 1.
He may have really cracked the code to reality. Actually, the theory that God created Civilization 1 and then Civilization 1 created what we are currently in now, that's a very interesting theory and a way to look at it. Let me know your thoughts and theories on this one.
What if phones and social media and scrolling, doom scrolling was invented because we live in a simulation and there are too many people living in this simulation for people controlling our simulation to monitor at all times? So when we're on our phone, doom scrolling, not being present in our daily lives, it's kind of like the equivalent of the person running the simulation for each individual people. Like, say they have 10 people or whatever, and they're like, oh, I gotta go take care of this one. They just put us doom scrolling so that we can just be busy and not really have to be taken care of in the simulation. What if we're all just Sims? Are you Sims simulation? See, boom.
You're not too far off. I do believe that social media and the distraction aspect of it is for just that. It's to keep you distracted and to keep you engaged and not really advance too much further in your life. So if you want to call that a glitch in the Matrix or some kind of simulation, sure, but more or less it's just to keep you held back.
I think I've proved that life is just a simulation. So if you're questioning that, then hear me out. I saw this TikTok of this girl talking about how she did an experiment where she started walking backwards. And this experiment is rooted in the concept of quantum physics, where when we make a decision that is different than outside of the norm of what we would typically do, it opens up a whole new world of infinite possibilities. So one random Thursday, I decided to try it. I walked backwards literally just around the block. I didn't do it all day, but then I just sort of forgot that I did it and moved on with my life. The next day, I did it again. Later that day, I left work at 4 o'clock because I had to run some errands. Between 4 o'clock to 5:30, 3 different scenarios happened that were literally glitches in the Matrix. Number 1, I was walking into a coffee shop to buy, and I was holding a bag of cans, like a bunch of cans, because I was going to return it at the grocery store to get a refund so that I could buy groceries because my account was literally on zero. And as I'm walking into the coffee shop, this homeless man approaches me and he's like, "Hey, I'm homeless. Like, can I have those cans?" And at that time, I needed the money. So I literally looked him in the eyes and I said, "No." And he just walked away. That was the first sign. It's not abnormal for people to approach me on the street, so I really didn't think much of this. I continued on my day to run my errands. Then I was sitting at a bus stop and this woman walked up to me and said something in Dutch along the lines of, "Hey, like, you're young, like, why don't you get up so I can sit down?" And in my head, the first thing that came to my mind was like, why is it my problem that you're old? But of course I got up. I would have got up if I saw her standing there, but I didn't. I don't know why that like kind of intrusive thought came into my head. But anyways, I got up and I just walked 10 feet down to the next bench and sat down. I finished running my errands and I'm on the tram to go back home and it's pretty empty, and like rows in front of me is this like teenage boy, maybe 18 max, and he's facing towards me, like towards the back, and I'm facing forward, and I see him from my peripheral vision like staring me down. So I looked over to verify that he was staring at me, and he was. He did not break eye contact, but I did, and I just like minded my own business. And a few stops later, he gets up from his seat and starts walking towards me and like towards the door to exit the tram, and he's just like staring at me still. So I look at him again and he gives me just like a friendly smile. The tram finally stops and the door opens. He looks back at me again and smiles and then walks off of the tram and goes on his merry way. Now, one time, a coincidence. Twice, maybe still a coincidence, but 3 times in a 1.5 hour time slot is very, very odd. So my hypothesis is that because I made a decision that was outside of the realm of my normal decision making, the world and the universe started to react to me differently. It started throwing people and situations into my experience that I wouldn't have normally encountered. This is a very small example of how the choices that we make on a daily basis directly influence our physical reality. In retrospect, I'm realizing the next time I walk backwards, I should definitely go in with a bit of intention so that I'm opening the doors that I want to open and not just like random portals to odd encounters. Moral of the story is start doing random and making different decisions and you will get different results.
I mean, really all that I can take from this video is if you do something that's abnormal as far as walking backwards, just to spark off some kind of glitch in the matrix, be prepared to be nice and respectful to some people. Almost every situation that she was in, it was almost like as if she was the rude person. I mean, hey, yeah, you don't need to give your money to anybody even if you have money, and sure, you don't need to move from your seat to help an elderly person, but you could be a little bit more aware. Lesson learned. If you walk backwards to try to trigger something, expect people to be triggered. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Currently, I am uploading a video like this every weekday at 4 p.m. And if you're into reactions of conspiracy videos, creepy clips, and other random finds, I upload a video early in the morning, Monday through Friday as well. And to everyone that's made it this far, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
It is no secret that tech billionaires say we're probably living in a simulation and that base reality, or the real world, is somewhere above this one. But this idea is not new. Plato, 2,400 years ago, wrote what's called the allegory of the cave, where prisoners were chained facing a wall, watching shadows move across it, absolutely certain that the shadows are the whole world because they never once turned around to see the fire that was casting the shadows. And his point was no metaphor. To him, the physical world is the wall. Everything that you're looking at is just a projection, while the real world is behind you and you've never even turned your head. Then there's the Gnostics, which said it even colder than that. They said that this world was built, actually fabricated by a lesser being they called the Demiurge, and we're just divine sparks that he trapped inside his construction. They said he wiped our memory and left convinced that the simulation is all there is. Now, the Hindus called the simulation Maya, or the veil, and they were specific about it. The physical world is a projection laid on top of the real one, and the entire purpose of the path is to see through the projection and wake up from it. And then there's the Hermeticists, physicists who gave us the actual mechanism. As above, so below. And in this system, the physical world is a lower copy of a higher pattern that was generated from it and is fundamentally mirroring it. So this tells me that simulation theory is likely not a discovery. It's a memory of something deep within all of humanity. But here's where the ancients left the tech billionaires in the dust, because the billionaires stop it, we might be in a simulation, and shrug their shoulders. But the traditions actually ask the only question that matters: how do you get out? And every single one of them came back with the same answer: gnosis, direct knowledge of what you actually are and where you actually come from. The initial memory wipe being akin to a prison, it does make sense that remembering is the key. And that map, how the traditions describe the simulation, name its architect, and chart the way out, is exactly what we go into inside the inner sanctum. The simulation is quite literally the oldest secret there is, and the more of us who wake up to our true spiritual nature, the better.
There are some things that happen so consistently in my life that I have become convinced that the simulation is real. These things aren't devastating. They're just little inconveniences that I'm convinced that there's whoever programs the simulation has programmed. Like, for one example, here's a thing that happens so consistently. My husband cannot pick up a pizza and bring it home to save his life. Okay. So 16 years of, hey, do you want me to get a pizza? And it being wrong. Okay. And the last time it happened, like, I'd had enough. And I said to him, and I said, check it. I said, open the box and check it before you bring it home. He went out for something and he's like, do you want me to get a pizza? And I was like, if you want a pizza, get a pizza. I don't want to be a part of it. Like, it always ends in a fight. He's like, no, I'll check it. And so it's the sim. Okay. So he, oh God, I was so aggravated. And the whole time I'm just trying to talk myself into like not getting mad. And then there's a point to this because then it happened again. So I tell him because he's always like, you call it in, which drives me crazy. I don't want to call it in. So I called it in and then I sent him a text. So I was like, this is exactly what we got. Check it. And he's like, okay. And he was like ignoring me. And I was like, check it. Just check it. Like, just bring home a pizza. That's right. It's not that hard. Just open the box and check it. Like, I know it sounds condescending, but like, it's so consistent that I got a Meat Lovers and he brought home this pizza. It had green peppers, mushrooms, and pineapple. And that was it. It was gross. I open it up when he gets home and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, we did not order this. No one would ever order this. This is like a universe. The universe is playing a joke on us. Like, no one would want this. I was like, it's like they're mad that I know it's a sim. And, he's like, I said, did you check it? And he goes, well, I saw them pull it out of the oven and put it in a box and hand it to me. So I just assumed they got it right. And I was like, but they didn't, because you didn't open the box and you didn't check it. Okay. But I tried to keep my mouth shut and I was like, and we got into a giant fight about it. So tonight he's going into town. Mind you, we live far away from town. So if somebody's going into town, it's like, hey, do you want this? Do you want that? Anyway, so he's like, hey, I'm going into town. Do you want me to grab a pizza? I said, I really don't want to be involved. And he's like, no, I'll get it right. And I'm like, I've heard this one before. And so I'm like, fine. And I'm like, I call it in. I go super simple. Sausage pepperoni. That's super simple. Guy says, okay. I text him. This is what I ordered. This is what it's supposed to cost. I was like, please open the box and check it. He's like, okay. So he calls me after he picks it up. I said, did you check it? And he goes, yeah, I did. It's wrong. I said, why are you bringing it home? He goes, well, I think he's like, I'm annoyed with them because they didn't tell me it was wrong. They knew it was wrong and they didn't tell me it was wrong. And I said, so what are we getting? I was like, if it has green peppers on it, I can't. And, he's like, no, it's just pepperoni. And I said, okay. And he goes, well, I opened the box and I said, isn't there supposed to be sausage on this? And she goes, oh, we're out of sausage, which no, they're probably not. Okay. They're probably not. I don't know if okay, whatever. So you can't tell me that he's not programmed to never be able to bring home the right pizza. I have been with this man for almost 20 years, and I cannot recall a situation where he has brought home the right pizza. Now, if I go get a pizza, Totally right. Every time. I'm not better than him. It's just my simulation isn't programmed for me to bring home the wrong pizza. I have other things. Like one of my things that's a simulation program is it doesn't matter where I park in the parking lot. It doesn't matter how hard I try. It doesn't matter how far away I am. And this is so true. And my husband laughs about it every time. And he's like, I think you just manifest it by talking about it. And I said, no, I don't manifest this. This is simulation programming. So every single time, and it's only since we've moved here, because we're in the South now, I come out of wherever I am and I could only be in there for like 5 minutes. But I come out and there's two giant pickup trucks on both sides of my car. The whole parking lot can be almost empty and I can be at the very end. And even if, and there's one place I park where I park at the very end. So it's like the end and then like cement so you can't go any farther. There'll be one pickup truck on the side. I'm not even kidding. It has to be programming. It has to be. It's not a coincidence. Like, and tonight where he tried so hard and he opened the box and it was still wrong, it's programming. It's simulation.
I just got to know, is this just one pizza place or is it every pizza place? What pizza place is this? And I would have to advise, just stay away from the pizza. If it's causing this much stress and drama and fatigue, just stay away from the pizza. It's not worth it. Or better yet, just get all the ingredients at the grocery store and make your own pizza. You might have a better time. Now, if you put that pizza in the oven that you made yourself and you pull it out and it's wrong, definitely a glitch in the matrix.
This is your daily reminder from the simulation that everything you can perceive in three-dimensional reality is just a projection. It's just a matrix. Just like in that movie, The Matrix. It's all just bubbling up from the source code of the universe. And if you would like to hack the matrix, to reprogram the source code so that it will naturally generate the life of your dreams, here's the cheat code. Feel good now. Feel good now. Feel good now. When you feel good now, you naturally shift your internal energetic state. And because everything in the universe is made of energy, the source code of the universe is just energy. And when you shift your energetic state into a blissful state, when you feel good now, your energy starts to vibrate inside of you at a different frequency. That frequency gets translated into the source code of the universe. The energy of the universe all around you gets charged with feel good now, feel good now, feel good now, bliss, bliss, bliss. And then naturally, that energy, that source code, renders into the three-dimensional reality all around you. And unexpectedly, synchronistically, miraculously, beautifully, your dream timeline starts to appear like magic before your eyes, like the universe, the simulation is bending over backwards to give you your dreams on a silver platter.
Hey, I think that lady that we just watched previously probably needs to take some of this guy's advice. Her pizza might actually come out correct.
So the universe is sending me a message to the point where I ran the mathematical odds on these three events happening, and it turns out to be 1 in 2.9 trillion. Let me explain. So if you followed me last week, I posted about my horse getting stung in his right eye by a bee. And then that exact same day, the mail lady, when I met her at the end of the driveway, she was stung under her right eye that same day. So then a couple of days ago, my husband was out hiking and he came back with a bee sting under his right eye. So obviously, if you know me, I'm like, okay, that's the universe validating that my first encounter was a message. And sorry, all the animals are screaming. So not sure what that means. I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking, the horse whinnying. So I need help figuring out this message. I've kind of put together a few theories that I have. The first one is my horse representing nature and animals. The second, the mail lady, represents communication and maybe travel. And the fact that it was a woman and not a man, maybe the matriarchy. And then my husband represents somebody you love. So I'm trying to piece together what the message is, and that's where I'm having a little bit of trouble. So I have a couple theories only because of some other things that have happened. So when I go on a walk, I consider that my meditation. And while I was on my walk, what popped in my head was that I had never been bit by a bee in my entire life. And I was also part of the GATE program. So if you've been part of the GATE program and have not been bitten by a bee, I think that would be interesting, because people that are in the GATE program or were in the GATE program have never broken bones, and I've never broken a bone. I did, when I was very little, have a bee, and it's a core memory. I'll never forget it. I was probably 4 or 5. I had a bee fly in my mouth, and I could feel the prickers as it's flying around inside my mouth. I spit it out, and I didn't get bit. And then another wild theory I have is I watched another psychic medium on here last night, and she was pulling tarot cards and came up with something that is going to happen with somebody's right eye. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to ask the universe for some more messages to try to fine tune what this message is, because the astronomical statistics of these 3 events happening, it has to be a message. Oh, and also the bee in my mind represents pollination and keeping everything alive, Mother Earth. So,
Well, it sounds like to me that your husband, the mail lady, and the horse are now a part of the Black Eye Club. So that means the Illuminati is watching you. Better keep your eyes open. I'm just kidding. But honestly, it could just be coincidental. But that is a strange coincidence if so. It would also have me second guessing as to what's going on here. Hey, if there's anyone out there that has any information as to what's going on, or has maybe an idea as what the Earth's trying to tell this lady, let me know in the comments, because I'm interested. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. I would also like to say thanks for stopping by and checking this video out. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a 4 p.m. video, and I know this video style was a bit different than what I normally do. I normally react to a bunch of random topics that's, within the conspiracy and spooky realm. But this go around, I decided to stick with a main topic for the 4 p.m. upload, and this week it's going to be glitches in the Matrix. That just seems to be what's trending, at least on my YouTube feed, so I would like to also see, how well it does. So if you've enjoyed it, let me know. If maybe you've come across this channel because of it, let me know. I'd really appreciate that. And as always, I feel happy, I feel healthy, I'm doing my best, and if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.